if you're hearing this, I need you to listen carefully. Don't try to find it. Don't look for the lost episode. There's something wrong with it. Deeply wrong. It's not some silly internet rumor. I watched Peppa Pig do things no cartoon character should ever do. And now, things keep happening, doors opening on their own, voices whispering in the static of my TV, and something watching me when I sleep. They say it only affects those who see, but I didn't know that when I pressed play. It started like any boring Saturday: gray skis, stale coffee, and me wandering aimlessly through a neighborhood garage sale. You know, the kind where old couples try to sell mismatched coffee mugs and sun-faded board games no one's played since the 90s. I wasn't looking for anything, just wasting time. But then I saw it. A cheap cardboard box filled with DVDs, most scratched, unlabeled. One of them stood out. A plain white disc in a cracked jewel case. No artwork, no markings, except for a faint black Sharpie scribble. Peppa Pig, the lost episode. At first, I laughed. A lost episode of Peppa Pig sounded like one of those internet jokes, creepypasta junk. But there was something about the handwriting, shaky, rushed, like whoever wrote it needed to get rid of it. I asked the old man running the sale where it came from. He didn't even look at it, just said, "Take it. No charge." I should have just left it there, but there was something off about it. I brought it home. That was my first mistake. I popped the disc into my dusty old DVD player, half expecting it not to work at all. The screen flickered to life. It started normal. The Peppa Pig theme played like usual, bright colors, silly music, that ridiculous oink. But something felt off, like the colors were too dull. The audio was slightly distorted, just enough to make me feel like I wasn't watching the real thing. Then came the first scene. Peppa and George were jumping in muddy puddles, but they weren't laughing. They weren't saying anything at all. Their mouths moved, but there was no sound. Just this low, buzzing hum beneath everything, like a faint electrical static crawling into my ears. The camera lingered too long. George tripped and fell face first into the mud, but he didn't get back up. The frame zoomed in, unblinking, on his motionless body. His eyes, they weren't the usual black dots. They were completely black, glossy, empty. Peppa turned to the screen, to her smile stretched unnaturally wide. Her voice finally came through, but it was layered, glitched. Like a child and something else were speaking in unison. "Are you watching closely?" My stomach dropped. This wasn't some fan edit. It wasn't even a corrupted file. Then the screen went black. A message appeared in plain white font. "You shouldn't have watched this." That night, I barely slept. I kept replaying that distorted voice in my, "You watching closely?" I tried brushing it off. Just a creepy edit, right? A joke. But deep down, I knew it was more than that. The first thing I noticed was the DVD gone. I left it on my desk before bed, but when I woke up, nothing. I tore the place apart. No disc, no case, just a faint, muddy footprint on the corner of my bedsheet. I live alone. Then came the whispers, faint, like someone mumbling behind a closed door. They always started around 3 a.m. I checked the hallway, the windows, my phone, nothing. I even recorded it. But playback gave me nothing but static. One morning, I walked into the bathroom, wiped the steam off the mirror, and my reflection didn't move. I froze, stared. My reflection smiled when I wasn't smiling, tilted its head, raised a hand I hadn't raised, and then it mouthed a word. Watch. I didn't step foot into that bathroom for a week. Then came the sounds, children laughing from inside the TV while it was off, the familiar Peppa theme playing faintly through my laptop speakers, even when everything was closed. Lights flickering, cold spots, that same muddy footprint appearing in different places, slowly moving toward my bed. Closer every night. I even caught something on camera once, just a blur. But when I paused the footage, Peppa was there. In the frame, eyes black, mouth open, still staring. I still don't know how it was watching me, or who else has seen it. That's when I received the first message. It started with my phone. Random glitches, like the screen flickering or typing on its own. Then my wallpaper changed to a still from the episode. Peppa, standing alone in a field, staring directly at the viewer. Her smile wasn't cartoonish. It looked real. Then came the message, "We see you." I thought it was a prank, a virus. I reset everything, phone, laptop, even changed my Wi-Fi. But it kept happening. I'd close my laptop and it would power back on. Windows would open on their own. Folder after folder, all titled with dates I was asleep. Inside them were screenshots, dozens, of me in bed, different angles, some clearly taken from the ceiling, one from underneath the bed. I checked for cameras, nothing. I smashed the smoke detector, tossed every smart device, but the files kept multiplying. One night, my screen just turned black. Then a new message appeared. "You should have never watched." I recorded everything, uploaded a few frames to Reddit. No one believed me, or worse, some did. Maybe someone here has seen something like this before. Drop it in the comments. Then I clicked on the final file, the one that wasn't supposed to be there. Out of nowhere, a new folder appeared on my desktop. It was named Obey, all caps, underscored like some warning I was supposed to see. Inside were blueprints of my apartment, a map of my neighborhood, and photos of faces. Familiar faces. Friends, neighbors, and me. What chilled me the most was that the folder wasn't static. It updated live. I watched in horror as a new photo of me popped up, taken just moments ago. I had no idea how it was recording me, or who else was on that list. The normal world I knew had dissolved into something sinister, as if my laptop had become a window to a nightmare. then, without warning, my screen went black. The laptop crashed, and the messages started. My phone buzzed suddenly, an unknown number. The message was chilling. "We see you." Then another. "Return it or join." Lights flickered around me, and my laptop sparked dangerously. Panic hit hard. I deleted every file, smashed the DVD into pieces, desperate to end it. But then my phone lit up again, the screen reading, "It's too late." If any of you are tech experts, tell me, was it really watching me? Or something far worse? I thought it was over, but the DVD came back. The next morning, I found the DVD sitting on my doorstep, clean, untouched, as if it had never been broken. Attached was a note, "Round 2. That day, I caught a flash in my neighbor's eyes, black, empty, like something wasn't quite human anymore. Strangers on the street stared at me, their faces unreadable, unnerving. I checked the files. They weren't the same. These were different. They showed me every move, every moment, like I was the star of a nightmare I couldn't escape. I haven't slept since. And honestly, I don't think I'm supposed to. If you ever find a DVD like that, just sitting out in public, don't touch it. Leave it. And if, like me, you already picked one up, destroy it. While you still can. They're testing us, watching who obeys and who opens the door to something far worse. Have you seen this? Has it happened to you? Tell me below before it's too late. If you find a USB in a parking lot, don't plug it in. I don't care how curious you are, how bored you feel, or what kind of "what's the worst that could happen" mood you're in. If you're listening to this, please, just leave it there. I know how stupid this sounds. I know. I'm the guy who thought the same thing. It's just a USB, right? Just some forgotten piece of plastic with a little storage chip inside, probably full of resumes or family photos or some boring spreadsheet some corporate intern lost on their way to lunch. But that's not what this was. I'm in my bathroom right now. Lights off, phone brightness low. I locked the door, but that doesn't matter anymore. I heard it come through the speakers, through the headphones. I thought I was imagining it at first, but now it's moving through the walls. The floorboards creak, even when I'm still. The sink faucet is dripping backwards, and my reflection hasn't blinked in almost 10 minutes. This all started about 72 hours ago. Maybe more. I've stopped keeping track of time. I haven't eaten. I haven't slept. The shadows move even when the lights are on, and when they're off, I don't even want to talk about that. It was just lying there. A little black USB, no markings, no label. I stepped over it at first, twice, but the third time I passed it, something just nudged at me, like it was meant for me, left there for me to find. I picked it up, put it in my pocket, didn't even think about it again until I got home that night. If I had just thrown it away, if I had just minded my own business. But I didn't. I was bored, curious, maybe a little reckless. And that's exactly how this thing gets in. Through your curiosity. through your little urges, just check, to just see. I don't know if I'm still me. I've been hearing whispers through my Bluetooth speaker, things that sound like me, but aren't. If this recording ever makes it online, just promise me one thing. Don't be like me. Don't feed your curiosity with the wrong bite of data. But I didn't know that when I picked it up. It was just a Thursday. Not a good one, not a bad one, just there. One of those days that slips past without leaving much of a mark. The kind of day where the highlight is finishing your shift without a single awkward conversation at the printer. I work late, always have. Night shifts at the office are quieter, easier. No one breathing down your neck about deadlines or coffee breaks. I just clocked out somewhere around 10:15 p.m. and was headed to the lot where I park behind the building. The air was that perfect kind of chilly, not cold enough to be uncomfortable, just enough to make your breath fog and your keys jingle a little louder in your pocket. Streetlights buzzed softly overhead, and the asphalt still held onto a little warmth from the sun. It was quiet, too quiet. Now that I think about it, the lot was completely empty. Not a single car. Not even the old Civic that usually sat 2 spots down from mine. The one with the faded Live, Laugh, Love sticker on the back. I didn't think much of it then. Just assumed I was the last one out. That's when I saw it. Right by the front tire of my car, almost like it had been placed there on purpose, was a small black USB stick. No brand, no label, no scratches, just sitting there. I actually laughed. Like who drops a USB and doesn't realize it? Or maybe someone chucked it, trying to get rid of something. My brain pinged through a dozen dumb scenarios. Maybe it had pictures, secrets. Maybe it was part of some ARG. Or maybe, more realistically, it had tax documents or wedding photos. I don't know why I didn't just ignore it. I could have stepped over it, driven home, microwaved leftover pasta, and gone to bed. That's what normal people do. But something about it felt off. It wasn't just the way it was placed. It was the silence, the stillness, like the whole parking lot was holding its breath. And me, I'm the kind of guy who always pokes the sleeping bear, just to see if it'll wake up. So I picked it up, slipped it into my coat pocket. I told myself I'd check it out later, maybe after dinner, maybe not at all. I should have just left it there. But there was something, I don't know, like it was meant to be found. I brought it home. That was my first mistake. My apartment was dead silent when I got in. The kind of silence that feels heavier than it should, like the walls are listening. I tossed my keys into the bowl by the door, shrugged off my jacket, and forgot about the USB for a while. I reheated some spaghetti, scrolled through Reddit, ignored 2 texts from my ex, and almost went to bed. Almost. But that little voice, the one that lives at the back of your skull and whispers, "Just check," got louder. So I grabbed the USB from my coat pocket. was still cold, which was weird because everything else in there was warm from my body heat. I stared at it for a second. Black, blank, perfectly ordinary looking. And then I plugged it into my laptop. No sparks, no virus warnings, just a small ding and the usual pop-up. The drive had one folder, all caps, look inside. My fingers hovered over the trackpad. Some part of me, some deep, lizard brain instinct, was telling me to shut the laptop, toss the thing out the window, and go to bed. But curiosity always wins. I opened the folder. There was only one file inside. Play Me MP4. No creation date, no metadata, nothing else. Just that. I don't know what I was expecting. A meme, a screamer video from the early 2000s. Rick Astley. But the file size was huge. Like really huge for a few seconds of video. And the name Play Me, it felt personal. Like it wasn't just a label. It was an instruction, a command. I sat there for another minute, just staring at the screen, every muscle tense like I was about to launch nukes instead of clicking a file. But of course I clicked it. Of course I did, because that was my second mistake. The video started in total darkness. Static buzzed in the background. For a few seconds, I thought it was broken. Then the screen lit up, dim, grainy, black and white footage. It took me a moment to realize what I was looking at. It was my living room. Same lamp, same crooked picture frame above the couch. Same dent in the floorboard I keep meaning to fix. But the angle was wrong. It wasn't from the ceiling or a hidden corner. It was like the camera was inside the wall, peering through the paint. I scrubbed through the timeline. Hours of footage. Me packing around on the phone. Me eating dinner. Me sleeping on the couch. Then more folders loaded. Dozens, hundreds. Each with dates, some recent, some way older than when I moved in. There were clips of me showering, talking in my sleep, sitting alone, except I wasn't always alone. In some clips, I was having full conversations with no one in the room. I watched myself laugh, pause, nod, like someone was answering me, and the metadata god. The timestamps went years back. Some file names were just strings of numbers and slashes, almost like coordinates. Some had words in languages I couldn't recognize. It wasn't just surveillance. It was like someone or something had been studying. Ask me. Maybe someone here's seen something like this before. Drop it in the comments if you have any clue what this is. I'm not sure if I'm losing my mind or if I've just scratched the surface of something much bigger. Because then I clicked on the final file, the one that was supposed to be there. Just when I thought I'd seen the worst of it, something new appeared. I hadn't noticed it before, maybe it was there before, but a new folder blinked into view on my desktop. No click, no sound, just suddenly there. Obey. The name alone sent a jolt through my spine. I double-clicked. Inside were files unlike anything I'd seen. No videos this time, just blueprints. Schematics for buildings I didn't recognize, underground structures, wiring, floor plans. Pages of code, some highlighted, like someone was building something or monitoring something or someone. Then I found a file named Index. It was a catalog, faces, names, descriptions, some crossed out, some labeled complete. Then my face. At the bottom of the screen, my name, my apartment address, my workplace, a photo of me, one I'd never seen before. Worse, the timestamp, taken 7 seconds ago. I stared at the image. I was still sitting in the same hoodie, in the same chair. That meant whatever had taken it was still watching. I still don't know how it was recording me. I don't know who else was on that list, or what complete even means. But that's when the laptop crashed. Black screen, no fan noise, dead. And the messages began. My phone buzzed. One notification. Unknown number, no name, just 2 words. We see you. I stared at the screen, heartbeat pounding in my ears. Another message came through. Return it or join THEM. That's when the lights flickered. Once, twice. Then the overhead light popped, glass rained down like ice. The laptop, which had been dead just moments ago, sparked violently. The screen glowed faintly, only for a second. Then smoke curled from the vents. I panicked. I yanked the USB out and flung it across the room. It hit the wall and bounced onto the floor. I grabbed it again, hands shaking, and smashed it with a hammer. Again, until nothing but twisted metal and shattered plastic remained. My phone buzzed once more. It's too late. No sender, just those 3 words. If any of you are tech experts, was it really watching me? Was that even possible? Or was it something worse? I thought that would be the end, that I'd be free. But the next morning, the USB was back, sitting neatly on my desk. The next morning, I opened my front door, and there it was, the USB, sitting on the welcome mat like it had never been broken. Clean, untouched, balanced perfectly on top of a folded note. Round 2. That's all it said. As I looked up, I caught a glimpse of my neighbor across the hall. She was standing completely still. Her eyes black, no whites, just black. She blinked and turned away like nothing happened. On my walk to work, strangers stared. A man on the bus smiled at me the whole ride, never blinked once. I plugged the USB in again. I had to. The files are different now. They're not of me anymore. They're of you, your room, your street, your face taken while you were watching. I haven't slept since, and I don't think I'm supposed to. If you ever find a USB in public, don't take it. Don't plug it in. Don't open the files. Don't let curiosity win. Because it's not just a flash drive. It's a trap. They're testing us, watching who obeys and who opens the door. And if you already picked one up, destroy it. If you still can. If you've seen anything like this, anything, I need to know. Leave a comment. Share your story. Help me figure out what they want before it finds you too. Before it's too late.